Second and 7 on Your View. You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What is up? It is a Monday afternoon, and there's a big old smile on my face because it's football season. Now, look, I got it. Baseball not exactly over, even though the Padres are eliminated. You know, the Padres got eliminated because of how poorly they played for an extended period of time. But I will say this. Credit goes to the St. Louis Cardinals, who've now won 16 straight games. And by the way, if you're the Dodgers, and it seems like it's more likely that the Dodgers are going to wind up playing St. Louis in this one-game wild card, if you're the Dodgers, look, you've had a great year, and you've gotten through a lot of tough circumstances, from the Trevor Bauer disaster to Mookie Betts' injury, Seager, Bellinger, Kershaw. The list went on. You endured a lot if you were the Dodgers this past year. But, man, St. Louis is headed for a game in L.A., and they are on fire, 16 straight. So while I look at the Padres and their demise, I also look at the Cardinals and how en fuego they've become. So we'll get to some baseball as the afternoon goes on. I definitely want to get to college football later today because San Diego State, look, kind of a tune-up, fix things up from the previous couple of weeks, even though they've been winning. They play against a school called Townsend State who had no chance of any kind. But San Diego State's schedule sets up for what could be the best season in San Diego State football history. I'm putting it out there early, and it all leads to next year when San Diego State will play in their new stadium. So I want to talk college football. I'll throw in UCLA with a huge win over Stanford, a great comeback win after losing to Fresno State the week before. And I'm definitely going to talk about USC, which seems to be trending even further downward. You know, I was making this case last week that maybe firing Clay Helton was not the greatest idea at the time. Not that he wasn't going to get fired at the end of the season, but it throws the whole season and throws recruiting up into shambles. And now, look, you're losing to Oregon State, you know? So I'll get to college football as the afternoon goes on. But Grande and Browner, as I bring you fellas back in, not baseball, not college football, not Ryder Cup, international golf. None of this stuff means anything, in my opinion, and compared to what happened yesterday, week 3 in the NFL. There are a few things that I saw yesterday that I've not seen before. 2 in particular. 1, we saw Antonio Cromartie many years ago for the Chargers, the then San Diego Chargers, return a missed field goal against your Vikings, Alex, as I recall, for like 109 yards.
Same day like that same game, if I remember correctly, that Adrian Peterson broke the all-time single-game rushing record. It was a crazy game.
Yes. Do you remember how many yards that was? Was it 253?
I thought it was in the 300s.
Okay. All right.
Look that up.
Well, Antonio Cromartie returned a field goal, a short field goal, 109 yards or something like that to the house the other direction.
290.
Yesterday, in the Arizona-Jacksonville game, Arizona comes out to attempt a 68-yard field goal at the end of the half.
Yep.
Right? And by the way, most of us were like, 68-yard field goal? Come
until
on,
now.
man. You know, until something happened.
Yeah.
Until something happened later in the day.
We talked about Prater last Friday and how he held the record for longest field goal. Was it 62?
I think it was a little longer than that. It may have been 63 or 64. Because when I grew up, there was a guy named Tom Dempsey. He was a kicker for the New Orleans Saints. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Does his name sound familiar to you?
No.
Okay. This guy held the record for the longest field goal in NFL history for like 30 years. It was a 62-yard field goal. He kicked for the New Orleans Saints. He was a big, heavy-set guy, and he only had half a foot. You guys don't know this story for real?
What?
Is he the guy with
half a foot?
He's the guy that wore like that peg leg shoe thing?
Yeah. He literally had half a foot. So the shoe, you could probably pull this up real quick on the internet, Alex. The shoe had like this like block at the end of it. So it was like a high top black cleat, but instead of it being a full length cleat, it was like half the cleat. So it looked like a hammer on the end of it. And he was a straight on kicker. He wasn't a soccer style kicker. He was a straight on guy. And he was a big, heavy set guy with this half a foot, with this like hammery kind of shoe. Yeah. And he kicked this game winning, or no, I don't know if it was a game winning, but it was a 62-yard field goal. And that field goal at that distance lasted for, I'm telling you, 25 or 30 years. As the longest field goal in NFL history. But now they're out there trotting guys out to try 60, or here it is, Browner. Take a look at this picture right here. Look at his foot.
That's a
Look at his foot.
Photoshop.
Look at his right foot. No, I'm telling you, man.
That's
It's a true
cheating.
story. No, listen,
It's like a
cheating or
hammer.
not cheating.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
cheating. He should have
Just
been
telling
allowed
you
to
right
kick.
now.
Look at like
Dude,
the
this
end.
guy's straight on.
The end of his boot looks like there's a little padding for extra thump.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it is cheating. I mean, but they allowed it.
Right.
And
A
this guy
competitive
held the record.
advantage.
I'm telling you, this guy held the record for 30 years. Prater yesterday for Arizona tries a 68-yard field goal at the end of the half. Jacksonville returns it for the longest play in NFL history. And I'm not even sure how they quantify it necessarily. Was it 110 yards?
109 is as far as you can go.
109. And here's the thing, is while the kid from Jacksonville is returning this kick,
You know who it was?
Gus Johnson, who the kid who returned the kick?
Yeah.
No, what's his name?
Jamal Agnew from USD.
Oh, Jamal Agnew
Yeah.
from USD, the kid who went to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Okay, he went from the Detroit Lions to an even worse franchise, the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay.
So this kid returns this kick, but Gus Johnson, who for many years we did the Golden Johnson Awards, the best calls of play-by-play from the weekend, Gus Johnson is relegated to this garbage game, Arizona and Jacksonville. I'm telling you, like 2% of America is watching this game, the people in Jacksonville and the people in Phoenix. Fox Sports, listen to me. If Gus Johnson is going to call NFL football for you, don't give him garbage games. You know, I got it. He's not going to call the Rams and the Bucs. You got Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. But I'll tell you this right now, Gus Johnson's better than Joe Buck all day, every day.
Ooh.
Way more exciting, way more fun to listen to.
Mm.
I mean, Joe Buck's got the name and the legendary father, and he's the number one guy, so he gets to call the World Series or the U.S. Open of golf or the NFL football and the Super Bowl. I mean, he's the number one Fox guy. He's the starting quarterback. But the reality is Gus Johnson is the running quarterback who's more athletic, who's the new style, the new breed, if you will, and he's better. He can make a Jacksonville Jaguar Arizona Cardinals game sound exciting. I'm not saying other announcers couldn't have had a great call, but you want to hear, did you guys hear it? Because I heard it live when it happened, and I tweeted, Gus Johnson is back in the NFL.
Yeah, it's
Did you
hard.
guys hear this?
Yeah, I heard it too. It's hard to hear because of the crowd noise, but I have it.
Browner, did you hear this or
I
not?
have not.
Oh, yeah. This is Gus Johnson calling the return of a 109-yard field goal, a 68-yard field goal that was missed and returned all the way to the house. Listen to Gus Johnson's call, and shout out to the kid Agnew from USD for returning this. Go ahead, play it out.
Got it up. And short. Agnew brings it out of the end zone. Agnew still running. Agnew down the sideline. Agnew. Touchdown, Jacksonville. 109 yards. Incredible.
Okay, you're right. Crowd noise kind of knocked it all out. But when I heard it live on TV yesterday, I was like, damn, great return, great call, loved it. I don't think we did it justice.
Why can't this man get the shine he deserves? Like I was watching, Greg Olsen was great. Don't get me wrong. Greg Olsen was great. And the person who he partnered with was good.
Kevin Burkhardt.
Good. They're a solid broadcast. I got no problems with them. I would have much rather heard Gus Johnson. I love Gus Johnson. I don't know why this guy does not get more pub. I want my announcers
Here's
like
what
that.
happened. Here's what happened. Gus was at CBS. I worked with Gus for many years. In fact, Gus and Brent Jones, the former 49ers tight end, would come to San Diego all the time for CBS, and I would do sidelines on those broadcasts. In fact, I'll never forget, one time Antonio Gates stood us up. We had a production meeting with Antonio Gates, and me and the producer and Gus and Brent were all there. And Antonio kind of just didn't show up. And finally, Gus and Brent were like, screw this, we're out of here. I'm not sitting around waiting for this guy. If he can't have enough common courtesy and professionalism to show up to this meeting, screw it, we're out. So he left. Those two guys left. And me and the producer sat there. And I think Gates eventually showed up, and me and the producer wound up doing the interview with Gates. But I worked with Gus Johnson and Brent Jones for years on CBS. But then Gus decided to leave CBS and go to Fox because he went from being like the number 4, 5, 6 guy at CBS to the number 1 college football guy at Fox. But as much as the I'm sure he got plenty of money to go to Fox, and I'm sure he's got nice visibility as the number 1 college football guy. But if you're going to use him on Saturdays and then bring him back for a game on Sunday because he wants to call NFL football, you got to give him better than Cardinals Jaguars, because he turns calls like that into legendary calls.
Do you Do you think they put him on that game because Kyler Murray is explosive and the type of offense that you can see, and that would provide better
No.
calls?
No, I don't. I don't think that
Okay.
at all. I think that he's been relegated because they've got their top teams. They've got the Joe Buck, Troy Aikman, and then they've got, however it is that they go down their list. And Gus Johnson's just not in the top 3 or 4 because he's really coming from the college football side. So I'm sure he had to do a college game on Saturday and then kind of just step into the booth on Sunday. And you'd be putting him into a bad spot if he's got a big audience and he didn't have as much time to do the prep work. That's just a guess.
The only time that
You
Gus
know?
Johnson was not great was when Fox had him do Champions League soccer. Not the best experiment.
That doesn't work
know?
in soccer.
No, it didn't really work in soccer. Because listen, nothing against Gus, but it just didn't flow the same.
Huh.
He doesn't know the game.
I don't know if he knows the game or not, but
He doesn't know the game.
Okay.
They tried. They were like, you know what? They're like, soccer announcers go crazy. Gus Johnson goes crazy. Let's have Gus call soccer. And he's like,
Marry the two.
yeah, he just didn't know who anybody was. He didn't know. I'm not saying he didn't work hard, just wasn't his thing. So Gus Johnson has this call of the USD kid Agnew returning this field goal. But I'll tell you guys right now, maybe the best thing I saw though was Justin Tucker from the Baltimore Ravens. Who would have thought the Ravens and the Lions would turn into a great game? And by the way, I wasn't watching it. I just was watching it on Red Zone. I cannot believe that Justin Tucker hit a 66-yard field goal to win the game. It was incredible.
Mhm.
Absolutely incredible. And I'll just say one thing here just about how incredible it was. When you're out at 66 yards, nobody kicks 66-yard field goals, but guys can barely hit them in practice. This guy, Justin Tucker, said after the game, he was having a hard time making them from 65 in warmups. So he wasn't exactly confident going out for a 66-yarder. If you actually watch, he takes like 4 steps rather than 3 steps. Usually he just takes 3 steps to his kick. He actually took like a 4th step, almost like a kickoff. How he hits this field goal and how it hits the crossbar and bounces over. I mean, these were 2 of the most spectacular plays from the least likely games of the weekend. Alex, can you play a little of this Justin Tucker thing?
Yeah, this is the Ravens radio network.
Tucker, it would be the longest in NFL history if it's good. A 66-yard try. Tucker's kick is on the way. It is good! Crossbar, and it tumbles through. It is good! Time has expired. Justin Tucker with the longest field goal in NFL history. The hay is in the barn, and it's mayhem on the field.
Oh, my God.
You've just seen history.
Lost my mind.
You have just seen
my
and
God.
heard history as Justin Tucker, 8 years after he hit a 61-yarder to win in Detroit, has silenced the crowd with the longest field goal in NFL history, 66 yards.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible.
The craziest part was how it happened too. It was
Right.
4th and 19, dude.
Right.
4th and 19, and Lamar just drops this dime to Sammy Watkins, and they can't get any more. They tried 3 plays, they couldn't get any more yards, and just the fact that they just said, "Screw it!" Like more of a chance than a Hail Mary. Go for it, Justin, and it hits the front, and just bounces right behind the net. It was
Here, watch this. This is from a fan who took a video. Now watch him. See how he backs up. Watch how many steps he. 1, 2. He like stutter
I've never
steps.
I've never seen a stutter step. A hop, yeah.
Yeah, right. Nobody does it. Nobody. You couldn't do that. It's just that extra 1/10 of a second might get it blocked.
And
nobody ever does that.
I also think the Lions didn't rush it as much as they could have because they didn't want to get a penalty and have him get closer. So this was like the perfect recipe to kick something this long. I thought the Lions had won this game. It was up on the screen where I was watching, and I was like, there's no way he's going to make this. This is correct. Whoa, wait a minute. And when it hit the crossbar, everybody in the bar where I was watching was like, huh? And it had nothing to do with the game. It wasn't even a Lions bar or a Ravens bar. It was just a great play.
Right. It was just insane. I mean, I've never seen anybody do that before and be able to hit a ball like that.
It was impressive.
Everything is about consistency and making sure your steps are the same and being so, methodical in your approach. And he just blasted it like Like, I'm just in the backyard and I'm just going to take a couple of stutter steps and just give it my everything. And he did. I just, those two plays in particular, the 68-yard field goal that's returned 109 yards and the 66-yard field goal that hits the crossbar and bounces over, two of the most spectacular plays that add to this already incredible weekend. I want to talk about the Rams and the Buccaneers and what happened in that game in just 1 minute. But before I do, let me just remind everybody, if you have any real estate related needs, you're trying to buy a house, sell a house, you want to refinance your current loan, you want to position yourself because you're trying to buy, but maybe your credit scores aren't exactly right, or you've got a lot of cleaning up of a mess to do, Gary Cooper and his team at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services are here to help you. Now, with that all being said, I am like a proud parent right now. When Grande called me last weekend, or this past weekend, it was Saturday, and said, Grande, what's the latest?
We're in escrow, yo. That's the latest.
Yeah, we are in escrow, yo.
Yeah.
Talk to me. Let me hear this story.
Let's see. We went to go look at the place in North Park, and we had the place in Eastlake. And you guys, why didn't you put an offer down in Eastlake? Because we fell in love with the place in North Park, which is where I live. I live 2 blocks away from where I'm currently in escrow. So it is exactly where I want to live. It is exactly where my fiance wants to live. It is turnkey ready, and we said, all right, let's do it. We talked to our realtor, and I told you guys last week we had more buying power. We've worked our finances to have more buying power. Didn't even need it. Ended up being way under of where we were. So the market has changed dramatically in just a month. A month ago, if something was listed at 500, you better go in at 530, 540, 550 to sniff it. Now, asking is kind of realistic again. So the prices are high, but you don't have to go in over. And we literally just said, we will pay for what you're asking. And we got countered with a couple little minor things here and there. And we accepted and we signed on Friday night. Now we're in escrow.
Wow. So how long will it be before you can actually become the owners of this place?
A few weeks. It'll be a few weeks. It'll be quick. It'll either happen or it won't. This morning, my fiance went there to do the inspection. Appraisal's coming in probably tomorrow, and we're updating all of our documents. And last night I was on this computer just doing a bunch of stuff, and we'll see what happens. But it's really up to the team at Mountain Trust. Like they got a lot of work to do, and me and Mariano will be available for anything they need. But it'll be quick.
But they're going to get you to the finish line. Did you? It has a washer dryer in the unit.
Yes.
How many bedrooms?
Only one, but it's large.
Okay.
So the thing about what we noticed here was we have been looking at 2-bed, 2 baths, but this place, for whatever reason, is larger in square footage than most 2 beds, 2 baths we've been looking at. So it's a large open space type of thing.
And have you thought to yourself, like, okay, there's only 1 bedroom. That's where we live.
Yeah.
And there's a bathroom in here, and there's a half bathroom as well, right? Like a powder room.
Yes.
Okay. And then what do you do about your work? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, we have. And that'll be, I won't have a whole office anymore, but I'll have a space. And my fiance will have a space because it's large enough to house both. We won't be in the same room, obviously. She won't be next to me as I'm doing the show. So, yeah, we've talked about it.
Wow, dude. Congratulations. I know it's not a done deal yet. I know you guys haven't moved in yet.
Yeah.
But, man, that is really, really exciting, too, because you said all along, I want to stay in North Park. I'm going to know it when I see it or when I feel it. And I saw the videos, and the place looks spectacular. The only thing I was worried about was that it was only 1 bedroom. But like you're saying now, it's actually bigger, even though it's just the way it's configured.
There's no wall. Like if we wanted, I don't know it's large enough to put a wall in the middle of the big room and have 2 bedrooms. But yeah, it's one concession that was always in play. By the way, it wasn't like a washer dryer. It wasn't a must. It was a concession to live in North Park as opposed to living in Eastlake, which I'm down for.
Dude, having a 1 bedroom is great because when people come to visit, you're like, we have a 1 bedroom. Sorry.
Yeah. Lafayette Hotel's down the street.
Hey, congratulations. Thanks to everybody at Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services. This process did not last a week or two. This process has lasted many, many months from the beginning when Alex said he wanted to try and buy, fixing all the credit scores, getting all the documents together, improving credit scores where needed, and then just months of shopping and looking and competing and battling and finally finding the right neighborhood, the right size place, where they want to be, the washer dryer unit inside. I mean, all the things that they were looking for, they're finally going to get. Mountain Trust Mortgage and Realty Services, we appreciate you guys. Now let's take this thing to the finish line. Way to go, Alex. Are you excited?
Not yet. I will be, though. I'm that kind of guy, dude. I don't get excited. I don't get hopes up. You guys know me.
Yeah.
When it comes, I said it. I expect the worst. So if it happens, I'll be ready. But I will be excited once we close.
Well, I'm really excited for you, man. I really am. Congratulations. And again, let's see if we can get to the finish line. Hopefully everything works out fine. But congrats on where you are right now. Okay, listen, coming up. So we talked about some of the big and strange plays that made the NFL's Week 3 really exciting and fun. Let's get to some of the games, though. The Rams and the Buccaneers. I really want to talk about this. I got to give the Rams credit. I was a Matthew Stafford doubter. I was saying, you're going to have to show it to me. I saw the stats. I didn't see the wins. Now I'm seeing the stats and the wins. That was the win of the early part of the season so far, in my estimation. We'll get there. The Raiders just barely hanging on and beating the Dolphins, but advancing to 3-0. And the Chargers going on the road and beating the Chiefs in Kansas City, setting up the Raiders and the Chargers this upcoming week in the Raiders' home in Los Angeles. So I had a lot more to get to from the NFL's Week 3. It's early. We're just getting rolling around here.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Our massive signal covers an area where over 24 million people reside. So, if you're listening or advertising on another station, we have only one question. Why? The new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
SDCCU is an engaged community partner. Each year, SDCCU is proud to support many nonprofit organizations throughout Southern California. Our partnerships allow us to help shape the financial lives of many through volunteerism, financial support, and creating public awareness. The result is a big impact on the communities we serve. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. Federally insured by NCUA. Find out more at sdccu.com.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on YourView or stream it online at yourview.com. Join the Walk for Alls at Balboa Park on October 16th. Every dollar raised stays local to help San Diegans with dementia. Register at alzsd.org/walk.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. Goodwill is one of our major sponsors.
Goodwill San Diego is proud of our ongoing participation with Jobtoberfest. As an employer of people with disabilities, we recognize the tremendous value they add to the workplace and the importance paid work makes in their lives. Together, we are making good happen.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you know, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients who I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
Teatro means theater in Spanish, and in Portuguese, and in Tagalog, and in Italian, and in so many languages. We have a lot of communities, a lot of culture here, so that is the reason why teatro is in the name. The mission of Teatro San Diego is to provide arts education to underserved communities, specifically in schools. Our goal is also in tandem with arts education to provide a professional theater company and dance company so that the community can see themselves reflected on stage at the professional level. Places like Subaru have really been so supportive and have helped us come up with projects like the AMI project.
I was so honored to be at an event a few days ago and heard some of the songs from it. These guys rock. This is just an amazing thing that everyone needs to see.
Catch an all-new local show on the Mightier 1090. Please join us every Thursday at 6 p.m. for the Charity Stripe, where you can get 3 out-of-the-box sports minds whose game is knowing yours. Only on a new generation of radio, the Mightier 1090 AM, SoCal Sports Talk. Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearney Mesa Road and the 163.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. Let's hear from one of our major sponsors.
At Marsty, we recognize the value that individuals with disabilities, as well as those in recovery from substance use, can bring to the workforce, especially to those who want to or are currently counseling those with disabilities and substance use disorder. Marsty is proud to partner with Jobtoberfest.
Nothing about the last year was normal, but you weathered it with grace, ingenuity, and creativity. In empty classrooms and full Zooms, you kept it together when we were apart. For all that you are, for all that you do, we salute you. Salute to Teachers is proudly sponsored by these charitable companies.
Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearney Mesa Road and the 163.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
San Diego State football dominated Towson on Saturday 48-21 to advance to 4-0 on the season. It is only the second time in the last 40 years that the Aztecs have started the season 4-0. The Aztecs scored 24 points in the third quarter to seal the victory. They now have outscored opponents 62-0 in the third through 4 games. Senior running back Jordan Byrd ran for 2 touchdowns in the win. Junior kicker Matt Areza was named Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week, and freshman cornerback Noah Avenger was named Mountain West Freshman of the Week on Monday. Areza did just about everything for the Aztecs on special teams, while Avenger had 3 tackles, an interception, and a pass breakup in only his second career start as a true freshman. San Diego State next takes on New Mexico on Saturday, October 9th. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Here it comes, Jalen Johnson. 3 touchdowns on the night.
Watch out.
Brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
To the end zone. Christakis pulls it in. What a catch!
Over the middle, right there in his hand. They throw down towards the end zone. In stride, touchdown, Dono. Thibodeau breaks another tackle.
Big run up the middle. Touchdown.
Stadium in San Diego. It has been a sellout the last few days. Loyal SC ready to kick off this season. Stadium in San Diego. Professional soccer has finally arrived.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal.
Great friends, what is happening? It is a Monday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew. To everybody who listens on the airwaves of the mightier 1090, happy to have along all the radio listeners out there. Speaking of radio for a quick second, I saw the owner of 1090, Bill Hagan, this past weekend on Facebook, showing that he and a bunch of his friends from Carlsbad were getting into like a party bus, and they were going up to the Ohana Fest, which is the concert and festival that gets put on in Doheny State Park in like the Laguna Niguel kind of area of Orange County. And the big story was that last night Pearl Jam was playing. So Eddie Vedder, the lead singer of Pearl Jam, puts this event on every year. And I think this is the first time that Pearl Jam has ever actually played the festival. Now, I'm going next weekend, or I guess you would call it this upcoming weekend. So I'm going to be up there this weekend. So if any great friends are up there, be on the lookout for me. And if anybody comes up with any VIP wristbands, I'm looking. I'm looking for them because I don't know, man. I'm just.
Can I say the same?
Bill, yeah, you want to go also?
No. If you're in Oakland and going to Los Buccaneers concert and you have VIP wristbands, please hit me up. I'll be there on Saturday.
Okay. Oh, you're going to Los Buccaneers this weekend?
Yeah, we're off on Friday, by the way. I don't know if you guys forgot.
We? Like the whole show?
Well, I am.
Oh. Yeah,
Wait,
I forgot.
what?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I definitely forgot.
Yeah, you guys definitely
All right.
forgot.
I'm going on a trip then.
You are? Where you
I'm
headed?
going to New York again.
Probably.
Every
Probably.
time we take time off, I'm going to New York later.
Yeah, I might go back to New York, dog.
All right.
Well,
Well, anyway,
I found
listen.
this out today. This is good information.
me too.
I knew you guys forgot. I already
Totally
like,
forgot.
the vibe of Scott's tone. I was like, okay, he forgot for sure that I'm off on
Totally
Friday.
forgot.
And then I was like, it's
Did.
only 4 segments Friday. You want to just you and Browner do it? And he's like, no, let's take it off. And I was like, okay. And I know you forgot, but yes,
Well,
I will.
Well, I did forget. Maybe what we do is maybe we have the Browner and Lawhead show fill in
For what? The whole time?
for this show.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
trusts.
yeah.
He trusts you and Lawhead. He don't trust you and Bert.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, it wasn't you. It was Bert.
I'll rock either way, whether it was or it wasn't. I'm down for the opportunity. I ain't tripping.
All right.
That'll save me some money on a flight to New York.
Well, I want to just say though, seriously, like I saw Bill on Facebook kind of putting all of his people in a party bus and heading up to see Pearl Jam last night. And he told me that he had spent over $500 for a VIP ticket to go see Pearl Jam. I think he said it was like his 26th time seeing them. I'm a huge
God.
Pearl Jam fan, have been a Pearl Jam fan for over 30 years, since like literally the early 90s, and have never seen Pearl Jam live ever. And so this upcoming weekend at the Ohana Fest, that's when I'm going to get a chance to see them for the first time. But let me back up here. I was thanking everybody who was listening on 1090. Great to have everybody around. YouTubers today. You know, we're coming off of a weekend where the Padres were officially eliminated from the playoffs. The world champion Buccaneers were in Southern California for the first time to take on Matthew Stafford and the Rams. We'll get to that story here in a minute. Huge college football weekend. So I know today, Monday, we're going to have a lot of people tuning in on YouTube, participating in the YouTube chat. For those of you who catch up to us on television on Cox's Your View Network, Channel 4 San Diego and Channel 4 Santa Barbara, you can get the whole show on youtube.com/Kaplan and Crew. And for everybody that listens on all the audio podcast platforms, happy to have you guys here on a Monday. Guys, I want to jump right back into the NFL. We were talking about the craziest plays of the weekend. Justin Tucker's 66-yard field goal for Baltimore to beat Detroit, longest field goal in NFL history, a ball that hits the crossbar and bounces over for the win. And we were also talking about the former USD product. Is it Ryan Agnew, who went from the Detroit Lions to the Jacksonville Jaguars and became a really established return man in the NFL and returned a field goal, a missed field goal, 68-yard attempt at the end of the half, 109 yards for a touchdown. We were talking about the crazy plays of the weekend. But how about the big games of the weekend? I don't know if you guys were watching yesterday afternoon, but the Rams and the Buccaneers. I said last week, my gut tells me the Rams will win the game. Brady never played in LA before. Not that that's a big deal. The Buccaneers had never traveled to LA because there was no team, so that they've gone to San Francisco or Oakland, or maybe there was a time where organizationally they came to San Diego. They certainly had to go to Arizona, maybe Seattle at times. So it's not like going to the West Coast was something completely new. But I know this sounds a little crazy, but when you have to travel to a new city for the first time, stay in a different hotel than you've ever stayed in before, use different ground transportation. Just little tiny things make a difference. And this is their first time. And then they get to the stadium, the Buccaneers do, and nothing's going to surprise Tom Brady. And it's not like they haven't played in Dallas before, but you get into this new stadium, SoFi, and you're looking around like, oh my God. Like, I understand it's a football field. Okay. It's 100 yards. It's 52 and a half yards wide. Okay. Those goalposts are the same as the ones down in Tampa, but the whole place is like a mind blow. So I'm not telling you that the Buccaneers lost the game because they were in unfamiliar surroundings. I'm just saying a little tiny piece of what's going on that can be a distraction. Then there's the other part of it. I was a doubter of Matthew Stafford, meaning it's not that I didn't think he was good. I could see the statistics that he put up on a really bad team with Detroit, but now I need to see him go from being a good quarterback with really good stats in a terrible franchise on a perennial loser of a team. I got to see that guy go from Detroit to LA and become what his stats say he could be. By the same token, I got to see Sean McVay give up some control, because when Jared Goff was his quarterback, Goff always looked like a robot to me. Okay. And in part, I believe it was because a guy like McVay, who was an early, young head coach in the league, wanted to have control over everything, including his quarterback. Well, now you got a guy like Matthew Stafford who you can trust. That's the word, trust. I never felt like McVay truly trusted Jared Goff, and I feel like McVay can trust a guy like Matthew Stafford. And look, I don't know if you guys watched the game or not yesterday, but it didn't start out great for Stafford, but it certainly finished really great for Matthew Stafford. It's something that Troy Aikman said during the telecast, which was, how often do you think Matthew Stafford ever played in games that were this important this early in the season that everybody was focusing in on? And Aikman answered his own question. He goes, I'll tell you the answer. The answer is never. There was never a time in Matthew Stafford's career with the Detroit Lions where in week 3 of the NFL season, the whole NFL world was zoomed in, focused in on, wow, the Lions and Stafford against the Patriots and Brady. Never happened that way. But the Rams and Stafford versus the defending Super Bowl champions, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, the whole football world was zoned in on that game yesterday. And when it started out where Stafford was overthrowing guys or like just throwing 120-mile-an-hour fastballs at guys and balls were being overthrown or dropped, Troy Aikman was saying, he's probably got some serious nerves right now, no matter how many years he's been in the NFL. And then Stafford started to calm down, started to get streaky, like on a good streak, start to hit a lot of passes in a row. And before you knew it, the Rams offense was rolling. And while the Rams offense rolled and Tampa would respond, it was how are the Rams going to respond, which they did time and again. This was not just some sneak by the Super Bowl champions at home. This was a very convincing win for the Rams. So I'll throw it to you guys. Your perception of the Rams change at all after this win against Tom Brady and the Bucs? What do you say?
You should ask the guy that thought they were the worst team in the NFC West.
No, it didn't. I felt. Let me be very clear about something. I still believe that they'll still be last in the division. I mean, after watching Seattle get beat by the Vikings.
Like?
Yeah, wow. Yeah. After what I saw Seattle do, I may have to change that around week 8 when I.
Oh wow! Right in the middle of this attempted rant, he gets cut off.
Who?
What? You did. You got cut off. But nothing I can do about it, man. I don't control the internet.
Am I back?
Yes.
You're back. So you were about to say you picked the Rams last week. You said my hot take is going to be that the Rams will finish last in the NFC West. The Rams are undefeated.
Right.
Arizona's undefeated. Last night, the Packers beat the 49ers.
Barely.
That's right, but it was on the road, and it was an amazing comeback win by the Packers.
Great win.
And Seattle is a surprising 1-2, and you've still got the Rams to finish last in the division. You're going to hang on to that.
Up until this point, yes, because what we know about football, and you just touched on this in the first segment, this is a week-to-week sport. Are the Steelers good? We don't know. Are the Broncos good? We don't know. Are the Raiders good? We don't know. Are the Rams good? We don't know. But damn, that was impressive. I'll give them credit. I think I watched the three quarters of that game. I was vastly impressed by what I saw because I didn't see the part where he struggled. So with the part you're talking about, I missed it. But I thought that was probably the best game I've ever seen Matthew Stafford play.
I think you might be right.
So under those circumstances, I thought they were very, very good. They were well prepared. They were ready. And by the time I was watching, they had calmed down apparently, and they went full steam ahead. I thought the Bucs just looked like, bleh, like we're here. Like I don't know what to take from what the Bucs did, but this reminds me of last year with the Bucs when the Bears beat them. It was like, okay, well, I mean, it appears they can be had. It's early.
Yeah. I'll tell you this. You said you kind of got to the game late. I've got three. I got 6 pages of notes that I took from last night's game. Rams' second offensive series, in particular, this one jumps out at me. 2nd and 6, the ball was tipped at the line and Robert Woods caught it and picked up a first down. Super fortunate that it wasn't taken back to the house. Cooper Kupp gets hit in the hands. It was his second drop ball for Cooper Kupp. Stafford went deep to Desean Jackson. This is, again, early in this game. Ball was significantly underthrown and hit the defensive back right in where his name was on his back, and they had to punt. And I was taking notes during this game, and I'll tell you guys where this whole game is won, though. Desean Jackson catches a 75-yard touchdown pass.
I saw that.
And the Rams go up 21-7. 3 plays, 75 yards, 58 seconds. And remember, that was on a 3rd and 10. It was 3rd and 10, and Stafford hits Desean Jackson for the touchdown. Brady then comes right back at down 21-7, 9 plays, 75 yards, 4 minutes, brings it to 21-14. So it's 21-14 in the game. It's the third quarter, and I have it in my notes, 3rd and 10. This is now, again, back to the Rams on offense. It's 3rd and 10. It's a huge third down for Tampa Bay's defense to go and get a 3 and out, because remember, they're only down by 7 at this point. Stafford to Robert Woods for 20 yards. It's the play of the game, because if Tampa's defense holds and the Rams have to punt, you're going to wind up giving the ball back to Brady, and it's a 7-point game. Later in that same drive, it's 3rd and 5. Desean Jackson goes across the middle, and he picks up a first down. And then before you knew it, Cooper Kupp had scored a touchdown. It was 28-14 at that point, and the crowd is going absolutely berserk. It's a 7-play, 75-yard drive, 2 minutes and 34 seconds, and it was a great response because Tampa had brought it to 21-14. And so, to me, really one of the plays of the game is that 3rd and 10 where Stafford hits Woods for 20 yards. I mean, there were a lot of plays that I have here that are in my notes that were important plays to the game, but for me, that was the most important one of them all. And I guess what I'm saying is I'm also watching Matthew Stafford do things that I've never really seen before. In fact, I will just say this. After the Rams got it to 28-14, Kenny Young winds up sacking Brady, brings it to 3rd and 15. Crowd is going absolutely nuts. They get a false start, so it becomes 3rd and 20. The Rams defense forces a punt up 28-14, and the punter from the Buccaneers shanks the ball, and the Rams start their next drive. Remember, they're up 28-14. The Rams start their next drive from the Buccaneers' 37-yard line, and they wind up kicking a field goal, making it 31-14. That's it, man. That's when this game was over. So I'm telling you this. I pumped the brakes on the Rams hype because I've gotten myself caught up in hype like this before. But after 3 games, Rams right now are one of the top 2, 3, 4 teams in the entire NFL. Think that's too much, Alex?
No, I think that's going to be the next question about Matthew Stafford is how do you quarterback a team when you are perceived as the best team in the National Football League? Because that's now what they are. They're going to be perceived as the best team in the NFL heading into their game against Arizona this week or Seattle this week.
Arizona and then
Seattle. So I think it's going to be listen, Matthew Stafford is going to have to answer questions all year long about who he is because we don't know. And just because you win one big game and you start 3-0, which McVay does all the time, by the way. He always starts 3-0.
The September record is fantastic.
He's going to ask. There's going to be new questions about Stafford all year long, and he's going to have to answer them all year. Because coming into it, Scott, you said like there's this hype about the Rams. There's this hype about the Rams. I didn't believe it, but across the league, across the country, like the Rams were hyped to be one of the best teams in the league, one of the favorites to make in the NFC. So they're playing like it. They're impressive. I think even despite their lack of no running game really, but they still try. And that's the difference between the Bucs. The Bucs are one-dimensional, completely one-dimensional. They have no run game whatsoever. So all you got to do is zero in on Brady, and he's still able to, throw for over 300 yards. But I think the Bucs have more issues than people think about. Like their defense is totally injured completely. They didn't have Jason Pierre-Paul yesterday. They put no pressure on Stafford. So the Bucs have a lot of questions to answer. I think that if you watch the week 2 game versus the Falcons, I know not a lot of people did. That game was tied in the fourth quarter or the late third quarter.
Yeah.
And then they had 2 pick sixes because Matt Ryan's terrible. So like that game was very close against the Falcons, who are one of the worst teams in the league. So I think the Bucs have a lot of issues, and the Rams are just beating the teams in front of them. And I know that the Bucs are hyped and they're going to be hyped, but listen, going to Indy and winning by 3, who cares? You got the win. Beating the Bears, who are not a very good team, who cares? You got the win. Same thing. So when they play Arizona this week, what is Arizona? Is Arizona really good? I don't think so. They were had by the Vikings. They were right there with the Jaguars. So I think the Rams could easily start 4-0, and the Seahawks, I'm not trying too far ahead, but they could easily start this season 5-0.
Yeah, I'm looking at this Rams team, and something's happened that I didn't know for sure was going to happen. I knew Cooper Kupp was a really good player, and I knew that Robert Woods was a really good player. I didn't know if Deshaun Jackson could stay healthy. It's only 3 weeks, but you can see how he stretches the field by using his speed and going deep. And I got to say that Van Jefferson is a forgotten name. So you have 4 really good, solid wide receivers for the Rams, and I think Tyler Higbee is an underrated tight end. He's a solid blocker from what I can gather. But yesterday, 5 receptions, 40 yards. He did score a touchdown. And I'm thinking to myself, you got 4 really good receivers. You've got a nice tight end. You don't have much by way of running back talent, but Sony Michel, give him some credit, 20 carries, 67 yards. I mean, he's grinding it out for 3 yards a carry. But you've got a quarterback now that defenses have to respect.
Did you hear that?
Therein lies the big difference.
About Sean McVay, about he is now 40-0 when his team leads at halftime.
Wow.
40-0 when his team leads at halftime. But if you look at his career record, he's 45-21. So that means if he's losing at halftime, the game's over.
It's over.
There's
right.
no chance of coming back, which is Sean McVay's problem. When he presses and they're losing and they're trailing, he has a very difficult time calling a good offensive plan. When they're free and leading and they're able to dictate the clock, the Rams look awesome. But if they have to come from behind, if they have to force plays to happen, that's always been McVay's issues. When he's pressing, when he's forcing, that's been his
But what
issue.
happens now? That they've got a different kind of quarterback? And
Yeah.
that was where I was
They
a
pressed
little
against Indy.
apprehensive.
Yep.
They pressed against Indy. They
I
didn't
think
have a comfortable time in Indianapolis because he calls games differently.
The record speaks for itself. That's it. The record speaks for
I'll
itself.
say it again. 40-0 when it lead at halftime. He has 45 career wins, 21 losses. So that means when he's trailing at halftime, he's 5-21.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look at it 2 ways. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, great with the lead, terrible trailing.
Yep.
Yeah. Hey, I'll just say this though.
Impressive though. I will say impressive.
Yeah,
I like how he wrote that. I like how he wrote that down. He's gonna remix that later.
Oh, I will for sure. I love that stat. I love that stuff. But I hear some other things in my notes. Celebrity sightings yesterday at the Rams game. Because remember the week before when the Cowboys were hosting the Chargers, it was like, hey, there's LeBron, there's Magic Johnson. I was like, yeah, because they're there to see the Cowboys. This week, I saw Larry David was there. This was all stuff on TV. Larry David, Magic Johnson, Jason Sudeikis, Mike Tyson, Sugar Ray Leonard, Dave Winfield. Did anybody see Norv Turner? Norv Turner was at the game.
Who's Jason Sudeikis?
Ted Lasso.
He's the guy from Ted Lasso.
Oh.
Dr. Dre in the house.
LeBron, AD, and Russ again.
Wow.
Yeah.
That must be nice, man.
So they're
Must be
not
nice.
Charger fans.
What?
Shocker. Shocker. Hey, give me 1 second before we keep rolling on this because we got a lot more football to talk, and we will get to some baseball and we'll get to some college football as well. Hey, I want to mention to everybody, I Thrive MD. Use our website, kaplanandcrew.com. Click on the I Thrive MD logo, and then you'll be able to click on this little orange box, and it's going to take you down the page, and it's going to tell you that you can get a free testosterone evaluation. And we're going to have Dr. Samir Damani on the show this week to introduce him to everybody. So you can put a face to a name and you can start to see that there's a real guy who's got some real answers as to things that are going on as we all get older. This is San Diego's leading anti-aging and performance optimization clinic. So I'll say this. If you're dealing with fatigue, low sex drive, erectile dysfunction, depression, brain fog, muscle loss, these are all indications of low testosterone. But the other thing I want to remind everybody is you look at the bottom of this page here, NAD injections. You just had it up on the screen, Alex. I was about to read it. By boosting your NAD plus levels, you can enjoy increased energy, mental clarity, and overall health and wellness. That's what I'm dealing with right now, is I'm taking these NAD injections and I am on fire with energy. So here's what I want you to do. Call this number, 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. Make an appointment with iThrive MD. Visit our website, kaplanandcrew.com. Start feeling your best and start thinking about your long-term health and wellness. I want to be here as long as I can. I want to live as healthy a life as I can. And I want all you great friends to do the same. Visit ithrivemd.com/Kaplan or call that number one more time, 858-240-1497 to make an appointment with iThrive MD. And Dr. Damani will join us as the week goes on. Okay, coming up. How did the Chargers go to Kansas City and beat the Chiefs? And are the Chiefs in trouble all of a sudden? We'll get to that story.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Here at the mightier 1090 AM, we don't just bring you SoCal sports. That would be lame. We also bring you the blue and gold Fighting Irish. We're the radio flagship for Notre Dame football for all of Southern California. This is the mightier 1090 AM. Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearny Mesa Road and the 163.
This year, Jobtoberfest is Wednesday, October 13th. It's the largest annual job fair in San Diego County for people with disabilities. CAES is one of our major sponsors.
CASE is excited to be a partner of this year's Jobtoberfest. At CASE, we believe that our people are our most important asset and value the talent that individuals with disabilities bring to our organization. Join our team and launch your career at CASE. Hope to see you there.
Nothing about the last year was normal, but you weathered it with grace, ingenuity, and creativity. In empty classrooms and full Zooms, you kept it together when we were apart. For all that you are, for all that you do, we salute you. Salute to Teachers is proudly sponsored by these charitable companies.
Adventure is waiting for you at BMW San Diego. A new 2022 BMW X3 X-Drive 30i waiting for you today when you lease for only $519 per month plus tax. BMW San Diego, Kearny Mesa Road and the 163.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
San Diego State football dominated Towson on Saturday 48-21 to advance to 4-0 on the season. It is only the second time in the last 40 years that the Aztecs have started the season 4-0. The Aztecs scored 24 points in the third quarter to seal the victory. They now have outscored opponents 62-0 in the third through 4 games. Senior running back Jordan Bird ran for 2 touchdowns in the win. Junior kicker Matt Areza was named Mountain West Special Teams Player of the Week, and freshman cornerback Noah Avenger was named Mountain West Freshman of the Week on Monday. Areza did just about everything for the Aztecs on special teams, while Avenger had 3 tackles, an interception, and a pass breakup in only his second career start as a true freshman. San Diego State next takes on New Mexico on Saturday, October 9th. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Catch Kaplan and Crew Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. If you've listened to Scott Kaplan the last 20 years, you know one thing. He likes to stir up some A new generation of radio. The all-new and mightier 1090.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at lamesarehab.com.
COVID vaccines are safe, convenient, and free, and they are effective at protecting you against the coronavirus. I'm Dr. Akilah Weber, a pediatric gynecologist and state assembly member, and I got the vaccine to protect my family. There is light at the end of the tunnel, and everyone who receives the vaccine helps us get one step closer to returning to normal. Go get your vaccine today. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find a site near you. Do it for yourself, your family, and for our community.
Live soccer is back. Watch Orange County Soccer Club, OC's highest level of professional soccer, live on YourView. Watch Orange County SC take on the Phoenix Rising FC, Saturday, October 2nd at 7. Watch world-class players and future stars. Transform your summer with a new family game night and outdoor fun all season long. Live soccer is back. Orange County SC versus the Phoenix Rising FC, Saturday, October 2nd at 7 on YourView.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being, and we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post-9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
Kaplan and Crew Tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
Save the Stork is an organization that equips pregnancy resource centers across the nation so that these pregnancy resource centers can reach more women facing unplanned pregnancies and provide them with holistic care, compassionate choices, and just an abundance of resources to support their decision to choose life. Save the Stork has been around for about 10 years. Most people know us by our Stork buses. A Stork bus is a mobile medical unit that's equipped with the state-of-the-art medical equipment as well as very knowledgeable and experienced medical professionals.
The buses enable them to reach areas where maybe there's not a pregnancy care center nearby. We are here to walk this journey with you so that you're not alone and to help you find your heart in all of this. And that means and that you're going to make a choice that is truly going to be something that years from now you're going to be proud of.
Attention, all dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, birds, pigs, and all other pets. Get your family members to sit, stay, and watch Animal Zone every Saturday at at 9 p.m. right here on this channel and at animalzone.org.
Tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. to watch Animal Zone right here on YearView.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
When you want to celebrate with great food, you need to find the perfect spot.
And we found it. One of our favorites today on
Sous Vide.